I'm on here in South Beach. I am with my friend Caz, and we had a lot to talk about today. He was a panelist here. Again, my name is David Octavia Interviews. I'm with IBMtv, and Caz got a chance to talk a little bit about his life after football, playing with the Seattle, with Seattle. Played with Pittsburgh Steelers as well.
No, we played the Steelers in the Super Bowl.
In the Super Bowl, they played the Steelers. So, he's got a great story. We always talk about the second act. We always talk about what after football. I just had an interview, we talked about retirement. It's not about retirement, really. It's about what is your next transition in life. And that is what I wanted to talk, because he really is doing a transition. But he's not doing a transition just for himself. He's bringing other people with him to help them create their own transition in life. So, Caz, thank you for making time for me today. We're at the TPI event, and tell me, what did you think of the event first, and then go from there.
Yeah, it was. Thanks for having me on first off, and inspiring story that you have. And, it's an honor just to be here. It's great to be here today. And I could kind of talk a little bit about my path, but the day-to-day has been great. And I think this idea of athletes being empowered and really taking it upon themselves to learn more and continue to push the boundaries is something I've stood for a long time. And the old idea of you make it to elite sports and then you have your first check and you kind of give it to someone else to go figure it out. Those days are kind of going away, and today is a really good example of that. Playing a very active role in your financial security that also kind of has deep impact around your family to be, or your existing family, whatever that may be. And for me, my path, grew up in poverty, was homeless for parts of my childhood, and realized early on that sports and academics were my way out, and committed to that, and ended up finding a path to Harvard, and then. And I always kind of say, I even said it today, it's probably the last place in the world I ever thought.
You thought you were going to be at?
It was crazy. And I just thought I was going to be a complete misfit, not fit in, and ended up being just a revolutionary thing for me, and really taught me to question everything. The things that kind of had stood for a long time, question why that is, and try to poke holes at anything you can. And it really allowed me to feed this level of curiosity. I think that's really served me well. And being drafted, I was drafted in 2000, played 8 years, most of my career in Seattle, like you said, which is an amazing experience. Being one of the captains of the first Super Bowl team to play the Steelers, although we lost, it was an amazing experience. But that kind of path, and being handed the first check in 2000, being drafted, realizing that wow, I better learn this from the ground up. Anything I could about public and private markets. Did that for 3 years, and then started investing my own money. Spending my off seasons embedded into companies I would invest in to learn how to be an entrepreneur, to really take a lightweight way to be able to kind of do that. Kind of really led me on a path to, as I retired, I went to Harvard Business School, kind of built a base of knowledge, a formal base, and use that as a way to then eventually say, hey, I eventually want to start a venture capital fund myself. How do I do that? And that was, started that journey 11 years ago. Just now I have my own venture capital fund now. It's been an amazing process called Little Ventures, and really unique thesis that we've kind of built out, but it's been an amazing process.
Wow. So a lot of that, again, today I got to meet a lot of people that I didn't know before, and the biggest thing is, even if I knew their names, I didn't know their background. So go back to what he just shared, where he comes from. In my time speaking and seminars and things like that, I always talk about that you're a product of your environment. I always go back to that. Like there's people that stay where they're at because they don't see a way out. It's almost like that person that lives in the middle of America. They've never seen a beach, or they've never seen anything. And then when they finally see a beach, it's like, whoa, that exists, or what else is out there, And he's talking about someone that did not expect to be in Harvard, someone that was homeless, someone that didn't come out from with a silver spoon, and all of a sudden ends up at Harvard. And what I like about the NFL, I do commend this for them, is I know a lot of NFL players that are friends of mine in the past few years. The NFL pays for education after, and they're getting their doctorates now, and they're doing that kind of thing. So my question to you, I guess, is how do we make what you're doing a product of environment? In other words, how do we build it, or how do we paint it, or how do we make it exciting for players to understand that this is your environment, this can be, in other words, how do we make what you're doing an environment that they're like, okay, I want to be a product of that, instead of thinking about the past and saying, okay, I came from this and I'm staying in this, or I'm not gonna, you know what I'm saying, or you know, keep buying this, I keep buying that, keep spending money instead of investing or doing other things. Because like another panelist said today, we were talking about, you know, don't be on the rookie year, focus on keeping your job and perfecting your craft and learning the playbooks, right? And then, but don't wait too late. Because then your name is off, or you know, you get older and you don't want to study. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like you tell the kids, don't leave college and take too long because you won't come back. Right. So how do we do that? You know, Caz, how do we make it where people think this too can happen? This is actually the way we should do it.
Yeah, it's kind of something I think that is very topical now. You know, for me, kind of, I felt almost like a lone wolf when I started embedding into companies in 2003. Right, that was kind of a little bit before its time. But now I think this idea of wrapping education, really is kind of what you're talking about, wrapping education around this. And kind of awareness around, you know, kind of telling stories, doing exactly what you're doing, tell stories of, you know, on both sides, right? On ones that did not watch closely and lost everything, and those that did watch closely and were able to understand and learn, and have an amazing platform in which to learn, which is kind of another thing you talked about as well. Being able to kind of tell that stories, I think there's, you know, kind of critical mass, and there's, you know, there's a lot of kind of self-selecting pockets of people within elite sports that are high performing, obviously to get to that sport, but then have this light turn on of being high performing in other areas too. And using that as kind of a runway to do that, where you're not kind of stop playing that sport and just say, hey, I'm gonna turn it on overnight. And you know, again, telling more and more stories around that, having awareness and education around that, and then kind of you know, really creating community. You know, around that as well, which is like, it's cool to be a nerd, and it's cool to dive in and be passionate about other things. And I always like to talk about it as you can be defined by more than what you are on the field, on the court, on the ice. And again, a lot of the players have always kind of seen themselves, him or her themselves, like that, saying, hey, you actually have deep passions on other areas, go feed that. You're an amazing platform to feed that and kind of learn. I always love, you know, kind of being able to kind of have that light bulb, you know, see other people have that light bulb go off and go down and do amazing things.
Well, you know, it's interesting how nerd has become a good thing, right? I mean, you look at what's the best, you know, the store now, they have the nerd Geek Squad and things like that. So, but it's interesting because you say that term, and then you talk about NFL player, and it reminded me, you know, after I went through cancer, you know, a lot of people were defining me by, oh, you're the trainer, you're the manager, you're the speaker, you're the host, you're this, that, whatever. And, you know, and God was like, no, you're not, that's not who you are. That's what you do. You know, that's just a talent and a gift and a passion that I gave you, and you've been putting it into action as a platform. And again, you're not defined by your titles. And I also heard, I think it was Amanda Reese that spoke about, you know, being defined by being an athlete. And I remember when I moved from Puerto Rico to Texas, people didn't know how to define me because I was Puerto Rican, I wasn't Mexican, you know, and people just, who is this guy, you know? And he speaks English. He doesn't speak Spanglish. He doesn't speak Spanish. I learned English in Puerto Rico because I was very blessed to be in a private school. But I started playing sports, and now I just became a joke. And now everybody liked me. Because when you do good in the field, or you do good in track, or in basketball, whatever, everyone seems to like you now, because now sports has a way, right, like music, has a way of bringing people together. And I love that this event is doing that, because this room was packed. That was a good sign for TPI. So yeah, we're not defined by our things. So, you know, and being a nerd is cool, because if you're an athlete and you can put that into the field and become that cool guy, and then have the intelligence enough to go to college or get some knowledge or wisdom, Yeah, I just thought I had to bring that up because, we're not defined by our titles, we're defined by what we do with our lives and hopefully live our purpose and find it. Where do you see yourself going with this venture capital, and how are you going to be able to, how do you think you're going to be able to bring more people? Because it's always about, people pull you up and then you have to pull people with you, right? It's always, like keep serving. The circle of life to me is just keep helping others, find their purpose and bring them up, right? What do you see yourself in doing that? Because we all have goals, right? And as a football player, you probably had a goal, Super Bowl. So where is your Super Bowl now?
No, I love it, and for me, it's even this idea of the why. Why did you even want to become a venture capitalist? And, for me, that's very easy. I love working with motivated, smart, creative, resourceful, gritty entrepreneurs that just, the name of my venture capital fund is Will Ventures.
Will Ventures.
Will
Ventures.
W-I-L.
Will Ventures.
And that speaks to the power of human will. And that is very much a nod to the entrepreneurs that will run that. In the face of immense odds, are you able to find a way, just find a way to overcome and be successful? And I think that is, in almost every single way, kind of a microcosm of life, of the path as an athlete, which I love. Being an entrepreneur was, having been an entrepreneur myself before becoming an investor as well. That was the closest thing I could get to playing, right? To creating an idea, to motivating a team, to executing against that plan. If things didn't go well, what do you do? Just give up? No, you don't give up. You find a way, right? And looking for those same qualities that we transfer over is really what we look for. And that is the core of how we invest in working with amazingly talented entrepreneurs, again, that say, over my dead body, I am going to find a way. And I want to see that come out. We spend a ton of time with entrepreneurs before we invest. And I want to see that come out in almost every single way on how they live their life.
Absolutely. The theme has been the same to me the last few days, doing these panels and these NFL events with IBMtv. It's been that same thing about the football players or NBA players. We had an NBA player yesterday that was talking about that same drive and those same talents and gifts, and just transfer them into their new journey. And I ask, me, I like to ask more questions. I want to dig deeper as a coach and a life coach and all this stuff. I'm like, dig deeper. I want to know more. Describe that for me. What is that drive? What is that stuff? And Caz said it correctly. It's like, you don't give up on certain things. But he talked about execution. He talked about, so he defined it perfectly. That was one thing I was trying to ask people in my event yesterday. So again, what is your future? What is your drive? And what is your purpose? I would say passion leads to purpose. So again, Caz, thank you for your time. Again, how do people find you? Is there on your Instagram? Is there an Instagram or a webpage?
It's just willventures.com is the easiest way. On Twitter, that's Caz. It's kind of like the other easy way. And then LinkedIn's always very easy as well. So yeah. willventures.com, and really in the end, we are taking a very authentic approach around investing, having been entrepreneurs ourselves, just understanding how difficult it is around that. It's been an amazing journey thus far. The best is yet to come.
Amen. I love that. The best is yet to come. Well, listen, thank you for being part of this with me here with IBMtv. My name is David Octavia Interviews Caz. Like I always say, find hope, have faith, and live every day with a purpose. Signing off right here from the Mondrian. See you soon. God bless you.
Cut.